Play ball, Las Vegas. This is Covering the Bases with the A's. Sponsored by Big Bully Turf.
What's up, baseball fans? Welcome inside Covering the Bases with the A's. Mike Davis here alongside Kevin Bollinger. Kevin, tell us what's on deck.
All right, we got a fun show today. Here is the batting order for today's show. The bench is clear against the Tigers as tensions are high in the dugout. Colby Thomas on the move to Philly. Plus, A's Cast host Chris Townsend joins the show. And also, I go one-on-one with Jonah Heim. And a little later on, Mariah Janos introduces us to the A's first-round draft pick. But first, we start with the injury that Nick Kurtz is facing.
Yep, the Big Amish is back on the 10-day IL with a re-aggravated thumb injury. Kurtz had recently returned from the right thumb capsule strain in July. Now he's back on the IL after seeing a hand specialist. And I feel like we do this each and every week, Kevin, but take a look at the long list of injuries as health continues to plague this roster. Pitcher Jeffrey Springs, 15-day IL with a hip injury. Shea Langoliers out for the year with a knee injury. So is Brent Rooker. Denzel Clark on the 60-day IL due to a hamstring injury. Zach Geloff still out with a knee injury on assignment. And rookie Joshua Kuroda-Grauer out with a contusion. And ace Luis Severino still out on the 60-day IL as he deals with a shoulder injury. So just like Zeus and the Greek gods were punishing and testing Odysseus, Kevin, at what point do we have to look up to the baseball gods and just wonder, is this bad luck or is training and prevention an issue at play here?
Well, I don't think it really has anything to do with the training and prevention because the A's injuries have been all over the place. There's really been no continuous and similar type of injury. It's really a combination of bad luck and, for Nick Kurtz's case of a guy who's basically goes full throttle in everything he does, and that's going to expose you a little bit more to injury. Obviously, they're going to have to get Kurtz in the lineup as soon as possible because he gives them the production, but he also gives them the protection for the hitters around him.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And if you at home are feeling the frustration, so are the guys in the dugout. Take a look at this.
Kenley Jansen and Jeff McNeil exchanging words. The game is over. And now both benches and bullpens have cleared.
Yeah, so the bench is clear at Sutter Health Park at the conclusion of Saturday's game against the Tigers. You can see closer Kenley Jansen having some words with Jeff McNeil. Then the ugly just gets worse as the following day the Tigers complete the series sweep, topping the A's 11-0. So emotions high, frustration boiling. The A's have lost 22 of the last 27 games. Kevin, what did the bench clearing signal to you? Do you think the mounting injuries and consistent losing, is that starting to have an effect?
Well, this was Kenley Jansen being stupid and an idiot, really, because he was upset that McNeil had bunted. The A's had done nothing, really nothing to do with why that started. McNeil just brought in a run. He allowed the tying run to come into the plate. So from that standpoint, nothing there from the A's side. But it was just Jansen, who's been around the game long enough, and he knows better than to do that. Deep down, though, a little bench clear, not a bad thing when a team is struggling. It can be a bonding moment where players show that they have each other's backs. We've seen managers do this all the time where they get tossed maybe on purpose to give the team a jolt. So all I see here is a chance to take their frustrations out, yell a little bit at a player that crossed the line, while showing everybody in the clubhouse that they're all in this together.
Okay, yeah, Kenley Jansen, always known as a little bit of a hothead, but let's go to some good news now.
He's earned himself an 8-6 record so far this year. And a swing and a miss, so JT Ginn ends with a strikeout if that is it.
JT Ginn giving us something to celebrate, returning to the mound from the 15-day IL. He had missed over 2 weeks of play due to a blister on his right middle finger, but he was back in action on Tuesday and Ginn held the Reds to 3 runs on 5 hits and 5 strikeouts across 6 innings. That gives Ginn 10 quality starts on the season. He has a 3.51 ERA over 23 games. Now, here's more from Ginn and manager Mark Kotze.
Me and Kyle talked in the tunnel. He asked me how I felt. Felt good. Felt confident to go out there and that I could get 3 quick outs there. So I was able to go out there and execute some pitches and, was able to get through 6.
Went out in the 6th and got through the 6th. So another quality start from him. This is a young man that has really just grown and grown since he's been able to take the ball, and it's good to have him back out there.
Yeah, let's stick with some of the bright spots as the pitching staff is giving us something happy to talk about. What about Mason Barnett coming up from AAA here in Vegas? Barnett entered the rotation just last weekend, and last week he held the Red Sox, a super hot Red Sox team, to 3 runs, striking out 6 over 5 innings. Meanwhile, Jack Perkins earned a career-high 9 strikeouts against the Tigers on Saturday. Now, a guy we highlighted just last week is now on the move. Colby Thomas shipped off to Philly as the A's acquire reliever Seth Johnson in the deal. Thomas, from Vegas to Sacramento, has provided some quality plate appearances to go with some exceptional defense.
Meanwhile, the A's get more depth in the bullpen that is much needed. Johnson's a former high draft pick, selected 40th overall by the Rays back in 2019, but his major league career has really been up and down. He has a 5.51 ERA in his 16 relief appearances with the Phillies this season.
All right, on deck, A's Cast host Chris Townsend. He's going to join the show. From Nick Kurtz to Colby Thomas, we're getting his thoughts on all things A's. Plus, Mariah Janos is taking us inside the clubhouse. She has a closer look at the A's first-round draft pick, Drew Burress, out of Georgia Tech.
And hey, before we get a break, a little trivia. I just got back from a vacation to Oregon, so we're going to make that the theme of this trivia. It's about longtime athletic and Oregonian Seth Brown. Seth played on a summer league team long ago in Bend, Oregon, the same team that also featured which movie star on its roster decades ago? Was it Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Terry Crews, Carl Weathers, or was it Kurt Russell? We got the answer after the break.
Play ball, Las Vegas. This is Covering the Bases with the A's. Sponsored by Big Bully Turf.
We're back with an answer to this week's trivia question. Which movie star played on the Bend Rainbows minor league team years before future athletic Seth Brown would? The answer is Kurt Russell. Yeah, Kurt was a big fan of the sport as a kid. This is actually him with his childhood idol, Willie McCovey, who later in his career played for the A's, actually, after a lot of years with the Giants. Kurt grew up to be quite athletic, actually. He's a decent golfer, too, and he played more than 100 minor league games, doing pretty well. He hit .292, averaging about 1 hit per game. Of course, he was even better at acting, so he went with that for a career. Good call. I don't think if he stayed a minor league player, he was going to be married to Goldie Hawn.
All right, so now we're joined by A's Cast host and producer Chris Townsend. Chris, great to see you. You always give us so much great insight. Let's start with the big Amish. Re-aggravated that thumb. He went to see a specialist. Now he's on the 10-day IL. How big of an injury is this? And do you think he might stay on the IL a little longer, or will he definitely come back?
I'm hoping he stays on the IL a little longer, because this is one of those tears in the thumb where rest is the number one thing. And I get it. You know, one of the toughest things with these young players is they're finding themselves in our game right now. And sometimes you have to protect them from themselves because they want to play. Jacob Wilson is playing hurt right now. We got guys playing hurt, but these young guys got to realize that they've got a long career ahead of them. So when I think about Nick Kurtz, and I know we all want him in there, we want him hitting home runs and doing all the unbelievable things that he does with his gifts, but right now the best thing for him is to rest. So I don't know how much we're going to see him coming up here lately. He will be back at some point, but the key for this type of injury is you got to rest and you got to take the time to let that heal.
You know, early on, you guys are in top spot of the AL West. You have almost too much depth, so many players, and now the injuries coming into the mix. But Colby Thomas was a guy who, coming from Vegas up to the big leagues, who showed some exceptional defensive plays, some pretty nice consistency at the plate. But then he gets traded to the Philadelphia Phillies, and you get Seth Johnson, the reliever, back in the trade. What did you think about that move? What did it signal to you from a depth and just rest of the season standpoint?
I think they had seen enough of Colby Thomas to realize he is what he is. And, you know, it's always tough with a player that you draft, you develop, you train, you teach, and then all of a sudden you start to say, okay, we think he is maxed out. Now, obviously we need pitching, but the trade really wasn't about pitching because you're getting a pitcher back that's got a 5.51 ERA. Colby has his limitations. And we'll see if he's able to shed those in Philadelphia. But the biggest problem for Colby Thomas, he really struggles against right-handed pitching. And that's the majority of the league is right-handed. So with the Athletics, who feel, as you said, we feel in the end we do have a lot of outfielders. And we just drafted, I don't know if you guys are following, but our number one pick, Burris, his second pitch he sees as a professional yesterday against the San Jose Giants, he hit a home run. We have a ton of outfield depth. So it becomes one of those situations. That's also good for Colby, too, by the way. If there is a lot of depth at a spot, and you're not going to get the kind of playing time you think you need, going to another organization can be the best thing for you. So for the Athletics, they'd probably seen enough. They know what they were going to get out of Colby Thomas, and it was time to move on. And good luck to him. He's a really good young kid, and hopefully he'll find his way in Philadelphia. But watch out for this Burris kid we just drafted. I mean, his second pitch he sees in big league baseball, he hits a home run at a place called San Jose Municipal Stadium, which is not easy to hit home runs. He's got extreme power. He could be here before you know it also.
Yeah, he's a hot shot, 8th overall pick from Georgia Tech. We're excited to see him in action. And listen, the Colby Thomas thing, it might be a win-win for both parties, as you said. Yeah. But listen, it's always a win-win when we have you on the show, Chris. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Anytime. I always appreciate it.
Okay, so things may not be ideal in the big league ball club at the moment, but there's a lot of hope building for the future on the farm, beginning with this year's first-round draft pick.
In this year's draft, and he swings and drives one high and deep in the air to left center field. Looking up is Tejada, and it is gone. And much like he did at Georgia Tech, his second pitch he sees as a professional, he launches for a solo home run, and it's 1-0 Stockton.
Well, there you have it. If there were any questions about whether Burris' power would translate to pro ball, they didn't last very long. The Athletics' 8th overall pick wasted absolutely no time making an impression, crushing a home run in his very first professional at-bat with single-A Stockton. Drew Burris jumped on the second pitch he saw and sent it over the wall for his first pro hit and his first pro homer, all in one swing. It's exactly the type of start the A's envisioned when they selected the former Georgia Tech slugger in the first round of the 2026 MLB draft. Burris finished his college career as one of the nation's premier power hitters, and if his professional debut is any indication, that power isn't going anywhere. Meanwhile, in Double-A, name a more beautiful sound. You can't. The kid we've been hyping up continues to live up to expectations as Leo DeVries recently swung for the fences and tallied his 13th homer of the season with the Midland Rockhounds. Gotta love that. So whether it's single, double, or AAA, the talent is there, waiting in the wings. It's not a matter of if, but when they will inevitably get the call up to bolster the Major League lineup. And Aviators fans, don't forget you can watch select games all season long right here on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network.
All right, great stuff, Mariah. With Shea Langoliers out due to injury, this man has stepped up big time. It's been next man up for catcher Jonah Heim, and we're going to talk more about how he's hitting them with the Heim after the break.
Play ball, Las Vegas. This is Covering the Bases with the A's. Sponsored by Big Bully Turf.
It's time for another Green and Gold countdown. This week we have a couple of power-hating corner infielders who both won championships with the A's. Sal Bando was the heart and soul of the A's dynasty in the early 70s. He was always there. Over 9 seasons in Oakland, Captain Sal, as he was called, missed only 40 games and led the league in games played 4 times. Sal made 4 All-Star teams and finished top 5 in MVP voting 3 times and was a great clutch performer. Sal drove in the winning run of the 1972 World Series in Game 7 against Cincinnati, the first of 3 consecutive championships for the Green and Gold. Next on our list is a guy everyone knows just from his nickname, Big Mac. Mark McGwire came to the A's as a first-round pick in 1984, and he had one of the best rookie seasons ever, leading the majors in 1987 with 49 home runs. He paired with outfielder Jose Canseco to form the Bash Brothers, two guys no opposing pitcher wanted to see. McGuire hit 363 dingers in an A's uniform, more than any other player in franchise history, and his 9 trips to the All-Star game representing the Athletics is also a franchise record. Big Mac led the majors in home runs 3 times with the A's, which happened more often for him, by the way, than any other player ever. Every 10 at-bats through Big Mac's career, he hit a homer, which is more often than any hitter in history. His most famous homer came later on in St. Louis when he hit 70 total to set the single-season record, but the bulk of Big Mac's career came while sending moonshots for the green and gold. Now, neither of these guys.
Jonah Heim has a knack for coming up in big spots. His first Major League Grand Slam was against Shohei Ohtani back in 2022. Now the A's are asking him to take on a big role for the rest of this season.
High drive, deep to right field. Heim has done it again. Tie game.
Jonah Heim came to the A's as a role player, but he's been thrust into the spotlight. When the A's traded for him mid-season, it was to back up All-Star catcher Shea Langoliers. But when Langoliers went down with a knee injury in July, Heim became the A's everyday catcher. He's belted double-digit home runs in less than 200 at-bats with the green and gold, and he's come up with clutch hits when the A's needed him most. Heim says there's no special mindset when coming up in big situations. He just wants to keep things normal.
I just go out there and try not to do too much. Just try to stay within myself. Keep the line moving. We got such a deep lineup here that we can score runs in bunches. So I just got to go out there, do my job, put together a good at bat, and then hopefully good things happen.
Drives this to right field, way back. It's a grand slam.
This is Heim's second stint with the A's organization. He played with the Aviators back in 2019, and when the 2020 AAA season was canceled due to COVID, Heim was on the taxi squad for the A's and played in 13 games at the big league level. That offseason, he was traded to Texas, where Heim blossomed. Then he broke out big in 2023, being named the starting catcher for the American League in the All-Star game and winning a Gold Glove while also winning a World Series with the Rangers that year. After a short stop in Atlanta, the A's traded for Heim in early May, a homecoming for the catcher.
These guys gave me my first shot in the big leagues, so it's nice to be back and I'm trying to win games again. And SAC's been great. The weather's been perfect. The fans have been awesome, and we got a really good clubhouse. We got a lot of guys showing up to the field every day, working hard and having fun.
2-0, driven left center field. Rafaela back. There's 500 for Jonah Heim.
At 31, Heim is a veteran on this young A's team, a roster that has seen a lot of players called up for their first big league experience this season. Heim says the message to them is simple.
I think the biggest thing is for guys just to be themselves. There's a reason they got to the big leagues, and there's a reason that this organization believes in them to be up here, so they just got to go out and be themselves. Trust their abilities and try not to do too much. They got here for a reason, so they just got to trust that.
Trust in themselves, just like Heim has done, because you never know when an opportunity will arise. For Heim, that opportunity is the rest of this season to show he's that same All-Star and Gold Glove winner.
All right, good stuff, Kevin. Coming up, the road trip continues. A struggling A's team will face off against a red-hot Boston squad. Who will take the mound and the keys to the series after the break?
Play ball, Las Vegas. This is Covering the Bases with the A's. Sponsored by Big Bully Turf.
This is a great day for Las Vegas.
Las Vegas has proven itself to be a great sports town and a great host to professional franchises.
It's an epic moment for our 124-year-old franchise. 2028, we have opening day out here on the Las Vegas Strip. 3, 2, 1.
Get priority access to purchase season tickets in Las Vegas for just $19.01. Current A's season ticket members, Aviators season ticket holders, as well as Clark County residents who secure their spot on the priority access list will receive purchase priority ahead of the general fan. For more information, just head to athletics.com/Vegas.
Okay, so after wrapping up things with the Reds, the road trip is going to continue for the guys as they head out east to take on the Red Sox.
And it is a red-hot Boston team. They've won 8 of their last 10.
Yeah, 3-game weekend series as the Sox are surging. The A's just trying to tread water. Getting the nod for the A's at Fenway will be Jack Perkins, Gage Jump, and JT Ginn. And get this, it was practically just a week ago when the A's last faced off against the Red Sox. That was a 4-game series in Sacramento, the A's snagging a single win. So Kevin, a tale of 2 different teams, one surging, one floundering. What's the key to the series for the guys in green and gold?
Well, that 4-game series out in West Sacramento was fairly low scoring, so the pitching staff did a pretty decent job against the Red Sox. They've got their best pitchers going that is on the active roster right now as starters, so getting those good starts going to be huge. The A's, though, have only scored more than 5 runs twice in the last 15 games. They have got to get some run production. And that's tough to do when a lot of your big sluggers are on the injured list, but it's time to see who's going to step up from that standpoint.
All right, we'll see what happens. A tough Boston team.
Yeah, that is a wrap now for this edition of Covering the Bases with the A's. For Mike Davis and the rest of our team here in Las Vegas, I'm Kevin Bollinger.
Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be back next week. Until then, be good and go A's.